Professor Uni. Well, you must be here to learn about the ever so interesting medieval theater. Very well then, this will be an insightful journey looking at the exciting details making up this exciting period of drama. We won't go into too much detail, however, as this is what the booklets we've handed out to you are purposed for. This presentation will contain less repeated info and more summarization. And why it matters to us. Now join me as we explore theater, but in the medieval times. Oh, but what does that mean? Well, medieval theater is, of course, the time period in between the fall of the Roman Empire and the beginning of the Renaissance in the 15th century. Here's a little background on the way of life back then.
The church at the time was the only stable government system in place. This meant that the church held almost all the power in the land. Society was also largely illiterate at the time, so churches began to relay the teachings of the Bible through theatrical productions set on certain dates.
Yes, little is actually known about medieval theater because of this illiteracy rate. Few wrote records and even less records survived. Basically, in the 600 to 1000 ADs, records were lost or simply never created.
Churches, however, didn't always support these productions. During early medieval times, the church denounced acting and theater in general. Churches banned plays entirely because they believed them to be cruel mockeries of God's creations.
Yes, so basically anything not belonging to God belonged to the devil. Medieval theater was vast, mysterious, and incredibly interesting. Now that we're wrapping up our discussion, let's talk about how medieval theater impacted drama spectacles in today's modern life. In fact, I know exactly who we can ask this question. We can ask my colleague, Professor Liz Todd. Professor Liz Todd has studied for 47 years in the classical arts. Alright, let's ask him. Professor Liz Todd, how do you think medieval theater has impacted us in our modern life today?
Many components of theater that developed during the Middle Ages continue to be incorporated in productions around the world to this day, such as the use of spectacle, stage direction, use of farce. Prior to the Middle Ages, all drama was performed in Latin or Greek. However, the local vernacular language began to be used about 1200 AD. Performances that were spoken this way provided opportunities for much larger audiences, who included members of lower class who would have been otherwise excluded from understanding the performances.
He's right.